Well, after weeks and weeks of sandblasting, scraping, powder coating, painting, all the parts are finally now completed. I even did the inside of the drum, which will probably melt off. I don't know how hot these are, rotor. Not sure how hot these will get. Here's the drum with the inside done as well. They probably won't get as hot on the rear, so it'll probably be okay here, but I suspect this might actually burn off, but with good experiment. So I'm going to try to put the generator back together. I have this powder coated clear, and I actually put this together wrong the first time. I didn't have this spacer in right, so I had to take it all apart, and I actually found a better way of getting this apart. When the armature is in, you can still reach around and pop this clip out here, and then the bearing comes out of the bracket pretty easily. And then I put it over here on the press and put the angle iron in and just press the armature out. And so that worked very well. I wish I would have done that initially. But so now I have to put the armature in. There's this little guy here, if I can pull it apart. So I almost forgot him, but last minute I got him on there. And I wire brushed these guys up. And I still have to clean this guy, and I'm going to try to clean up the windings as best I can. So let's have a socket that hits the inner part of the bearing and doesn't touch this bracket. And now it's very easy to press this down onto the armature. Cleaned this up best I could. And I have this stub of a rivet left where I drilled it out from the outside of the casting. It holds this wire clip on to ground it. The other wire comes up here and goes to the tab out the back where you connect to the regulator. So I have to drill that out, and then I did put the new brushes in, and I got a couple threaded rods in here so I could take the tension off the springs and hopefully put the armature in. Rivet came out easy. I put some WD-40 on, worked it loose, and I was able to get a channel locks with a small socket over that and then squeeze the rivet out. So it's going better than expected so far. Okay, back together. Coils are in. Here's my new mount for the lug and grounding the one on the back side. So now just got to put the armature in and get it installed with the brushes. Generator's back together. It's a 22700, and the bearing mount in here that I showed earlier is different than in the Moss catalog. I don't know if it's just a different generator that's applicable for the year, or if somebody switched it out, but I think it's the same as on my TR3, so it's probably correct. Anyway, on the Moss picture, they show that the bearing in there is held in with a retainer and 2 or 3 screws, where this one had that snap ring. And I was going to put a new bushing in, but it was the shaft play in here was almost 0, so I think that bushing was okay, and I just left it. Same with the felt, but I did put some oil in here. There's a oil hole, and I soaked that sponge really well from both sides, and went together pretty well. Spins nice and freely. You can hear the new brushes click just a little bit because they're square against the shaft.